Dr. Grant Patrick. The Redheads, Unforgettable Grandpa's Fairy Tales. Chapter 3. The Sages and the Elixir Quest. At the break of dawn, the Redheads assembled once more at the Elders' Circle, where the soft glow of morning filtered through the serene canopy of the Whispering Woods. Their recent victory over the treacherous poison ivy hung in the air, not as a triumph but as a fleeting echo of hope. The atmosphere bristled with unease, a silent herald of the challenges yet to come. Grandpa's eyes, shadowed by unspoken worry, met his grandson's steady gaze. For a moment, it seemed as though he was drawing strength from the boy's presence, a quiet reassurance before the weight of his words could settle. And so, the tale of the Redheads started again. "This," he said, his voice low and heavy, "is a threat greater than anything we've faced before. An ancient darkness stirs, something the forest hasn't seen in centuries." Eber's grip tightened on her staff, and she whispered, almost inaudibly, "The Lord of Shadows." Darrer's, the Redhead's grandpa, expression was grave as he nodded. "The very one who was banished long ago. But it seems his time to return has come. And we," his gaze swept across the gathered Redheads, "we're the only ones who can stop him." Unease rippled through the group as they exchanged wary glances. The silence was broken by Declan, his steady voice cutting through the tension. "What do we need to do?" he asked. Darragh leaned forward, urgency lighting his features. "We must summon the Council of Sages, the wisest beings in the forest, including its woodland creatures. Together, we'll find a way to stop the Lord of Shadows. Declan, Eber, you are tasked with summoning the creatures. The rest of you will prepare for what comes next." Declan and Eber exchanged a determined glance before nodding. Without hesitation, they set off into the forest to gather its inhabitants. Soon, the council convened under the towering canopy of ancient trees. Deer, owls, foxes, and other woodland creatures filled the clearing, their soft murmurs weaving a symphony of concern and curiosity. As the Redheads stood among them, the same question lingered on everyone's minds: how could they defeat a force as ancient and dark as the Lord of Shadows? Roisin stepped forward, her voice calm but resolute. "We'll need an elixir, a powerful one, to protect the forest from the Shadow's curse. But it requires 3 ingredients: the silver fern, the star moss, and the ember root." Grandpa stood tall. "Declan, Eber, you will seek the silver fern. The others will gather the star moss from Misty Lake, while we tackle the ember root on the cliffs. Time is not on our side. Move swiftly." Declan and Eber wasted no time, their journey taking them into the depths of the enchanted woods. The air grew colder as they approached the grove where the silver fern grew, mist swirling around their feet. Here, they encountered Lur, the ancient wolf and guardian of the silver fern. Lur's golden eyes locked onto them as he stepped from the shadows. "State your purpose," he growled, his voice deep and commanding. "We seek the silver fern," Eber said, her tone bold yet respectful. "The forest is in grave danger, and only the elixir can protect it." For a moment, Lur studied them, his fur rippling like liquid silver under the faint light. Then, with a slow nod, he stepped aside. "You may take the fern. But remember, its magic is sacred. Respect it as you would your own life." Clutching the silver fern, Declan and Eber quickly retraced their steps, the forest seeming to watch their every move. Meanwhile, the others reached the shimmering expanse of Misty Lake, where star moss blanketed the shorelines like an emerald mist. The water glistened with an otherworldly light, and from its depths emerged Lady Neov, the guardian nymph. Her voice, melodic and tinged with gravity, echoed across the lake. "You seek the star moss," she said, her eyes reflecting the silvery surface. "But beware, the Lord of Shadows' influence grows stronger with each passing day. The moss is not merely a plant, it is the lifeblood of the forest." Liam bowed deeply, his voice filled with earnestness. "We understand, Lady Neov. We need the moss to save the Whispering Woods. Will you grant us your aid?" Lady Neov's gaze softened. "I will. But use it wisely." With a wave of her hand, the moss floated gracefully into Liam's outstretched arms, its faint glow illuminating the ore etched on his face. The final ingredient awaited atop the cliffs where the ember root grew, gnarled, ancient trees flanking a steep and unforgiving path. The climb was perilous, yet the Redheads pressed on, their determination steeling them against the biting wind and loose stones beneath their feet. At the summit, a fierce falcon with eyes like molten coals descended from the heavens, its screech piercing the air. With wings beating furiously, it circled the group before landing sharply, talons digging into the rocky ground. "Do you come to steal the ember root?" it demanded, its voice sharp as the wind cutting through the peaks. "We seek only to protect the forest," Declan called out, his voice steady as he held the falcon's gaze. "The Lord Shadows is returning, and without the root, we cannot stop him." The falcon tilted its head, scrutinizing him with an intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. After a long pause, it folded its wings and stepped closer. "The ember root is powerful," it warned, its tone grave. "Respect its power, and it will aid you. But misuse it, and you will bring chaos upon this land." With careful hands, Roisin retrieved the ember root, its fiery glow casting dancing shadows against the rock face. The falcon watched silently as the group began their descent, their hearts a blend of relief and apprehension. Back at the meeting circle, Roisin wasted no time. The ingredients lay before her, each radiating its own unique magic: silverfern's shimmering leaves, star moss's ethereal glow, and ember root's fiery brilliance. Her movements were swift yet deliberate, her hands working a mesmerizing rhythm as she combined the elements in a bubbling cauldron. The forest seemed to hold its breath as Roisin whispered the final incantation. A brilliant light erupted from the cauldron, bathing the grove in warmth and hope. The Redheads shielded their eyes, their faces reflecting awe and determination. "This elixir," Roisin said, her voice quiet but resolute, "will protect the forest. But we must stand united to ensure the Lord of Shadows does not rise again." Clutching the elixir, the Redheads exchanged determined glances. Together, they were ready for the final confrontation. Their courage and unity would be their greatest weapon as they prepared to face the looming darkness.